Hello everyone, this is Tom from Dirk Witte Music Store in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Today we are taking a look at a very cool and a very collectible Fender electric solid body guitar from the 1960s. But this is a very rare one because this is an extremely early version of this very model, because we are taking a look at the Fender Mustang Competition electric guitar in its competition blue finish. Competition referring to the stripes going along the armresting area over here, and also then with that matching blue headstock. What is especially cool is that this one is from 1968. Why is that so incredibly cool? Because this model was actually like officially released in 1969, but the neck dating of this particular guitar dates this to 1968. So this was really kind of like off of the first batch, which is yeah, just crazy rare. What's also really cool is that the competition Mustang was also kind of like one of Leo Fender's last contributions to Fender before he obviously parted ways with the company after having it sold to CBS. Hence pre-CBS, what you a lot of times hear when something made by Fender is made after 1965. But yeah, an incredibly cool guitar. The Fender Mustang was first introduced originally in 1964, and then in 1968, or actually 1969, because that was the first official year, it kind of like got this new look with the competition stripes. Kind of like to more so aim it towards like younger people, because this was actually also kind of like a student model of theirs when it was even first introduced in 1964. But then they tried to make it like a little bit more hip with the stripes. Really cool guitar, totally original, even has the original parts and such. So incredibly cool to have this extremely early Fender competition Mustang. So let's dive into the specs. So obviously this is a Mustang body shape. It is not an offset, because if it were an offset then the lower bout would also be uneven, if you will, but this has the lower bout being like even, like on both sides. It has the same dimensions, whereas the Jaguar and the Jazzmaster would not have that. So it is not an offset, but it is still a very unique looking style of a body. Doesn't really look like a Strat, doesn't really look like a Jazzmaster, kind of like in between the two in a way. Looks really cool. Again, in its original blue competition finish. It is not completely blue apart from the stripes, like obviously those are also blue, but it also features kind of like a very subtle burst. So it kind of like has this lighter shade of blue on the on like the inside of the body, as it does on the outer parts of the body, of like the sides or the edges of the body. Looks really cool, and it's also in a very nice shape. Obviously you do got some on display wear, this being over well over 50 years old, like 57 years old already, 58 years old even. So obviously, you know, you do got some dings, some scratches, but overall it is in a really nice shape. Really nothing major to actually go over, so that is really nice to see. You've then got the original pickups. Obviously these are of the like the uniquer style Fender Mustang style pickups. I think that you'd also find these exact same type of pickups in like the Duosonic, the Music Master, like those entry level models, but they sound really great. Definitely kind of like similar to Fender Stratocaster pickups, but still kind of like got their own unique thing going on. You get plenty of twang in the bridge position, where you get quite some warmth over here in the neck pickup by itself. But they again also got their own original thing going on. What is cool about the Fender Mustang, like the old school ones, is that you also then got on-off switches for the pickups. But not just that, because first off, these work as follows. So you got the 3 positions, and in the middle they are off. So on both sides of the switches they are then on. So for the bridge pickup you got this switch, for the neck pickup you got this switch. But what you can also do is you can run them like just regularly when you have both of them on, so they then just get combined, as you would like also have that in like a Fender Telecaster, for example, in the middle position. But if you then counteract counter flip, if you will, one of the switches, so that they are kind of like where you have this switch turned on that way and this switch turned on that way, then pickups go out of phase. And then you get that really cool and very unique quacky tone is just, in my opinion, a really cool sound. And I actually really kind of like dig that sound. So that does make this quite unique. So you basically get 4 individual pickup positions. So just the 2 by themselves, so bridge and neck by themselves, both on at the same time, and then both on out of phase. So that's 4 tones right there. Also then got the original faux or like pearloid pickguard, also actually in a very nice shape. What you see a lot is that these shrink and then they crack like all over, especially near the screws. But you can tell that these have shrunk, but no cracks to be seen anywhere. Looking over it right now, no. That's pretty cool to see. But you can definitely tell that it has shrunk, because you can see like this gap over here near the control plate and also there at the bridge. But even at the screw holes, looking really, really nice. So that is very cool and very unique to see. You then got the Fender Mustang bridge, which is actually a really nice bridge. Even got the original bridge cover, and then got the original bridge cover. Underneath, you've then got obviously your original Fender Mustang bridge, which actually works really, really well. What you actually see quite often nowadays is that people, when they buy like Jazzmasters or Jaguars, and they come with the traditional style of bridges, they then flip them for Mustang bridges, because these are a bit more stable, and you do not. It is a little bit harder to like pop the strings out while playing. So yeah, pretty cool to then have that all original, as well as your entire vibrato system, which is then branded with Fender, and it says dynamic vibrato. Also obviously got the original trem arm included. The controls, just a volume and a tone control, so that's quite simple. Input jack over here on the front. Got to put the bridge cover back on. There we go. Moving on to the neck. Maple neck, rosewood fingerboard, with actually a slab rosewood board. If you look over there at the end of the neck, you can see that the fingerboard is put on there in like a straight line. And I'm actually not quite sure why that is. So if anybody knows, please fill me in the comments, because I thought that slab rosewood boards were only a thing of like the early 1960s, and that they never really went back, like apart from reissues and stuff much later. But for some reason this one gets a slab rosewood fingerboard, so that is really, really cool to see. And the fingerboard is also in a really, really nice shape. Got then your original pearloid dots. Neck profile, it's a little bit slim, but still relatively medium size, I would say, a little bit like medium to slim, but overall just a very nice feeling neck. It's also in a very nice shape over there on the back, so no nicks or dings. Obviously you do feel a little bit of wear, but that is to be expected, and really nothing really like special to mention about it. So it just plays and feels really, really nice. Got the original bow nut, and then your matching headstock that then matches obviously the body. So also got that blue burst going on with your decal reading Fender Mustang. Then your single string tree, and obviously your 6 tuners over there on the back, also original. And then the last thing to mention, it also comes with its original hard shell case. So you really got full package with this really, really fine and collectible Fender Mustang competition blue Mustang. Incredibly cool guitar. Again, really nice shape as well. Just got some honest play wear going on, so some nicks and dings, some honest wear and tear and mojo, but it just plays and sounds fantastic, as it should. The frets as well are also in a really nice shape. Plenty of life left there. It's probably had a recrown at some point, but it just plays really, really nicely, so no worries there. Really cool guitar. Let's hear what it sounds like. But first, if you're interested in this Real deal vintage 1968 Fender competition Mustang in a competition blue finish. A really early one again, because again this model was officially first released in 1969 and this one is 68, so really cool. If you're really cool. If you are interested in that, be sure to head over to the links in the description for further details. If you enjoyed this demo, be sure to like the video for more cool weekly demos of really cool golden age vintage electric guitars like these, cool acoustic guitars, bass guitars even, all of that really cool stuff. Also be sure to like us and to follow us on our socials, Instagram and Facebook. Links are also in the description. With all that being said, let's see what this real deal vintage 1968 Fender competition blue Mustang sounds like. I'm going to be playing it through this late 1970s Fender Pro Reverb. So let's then move on to that part and let's then take this incredibly early competition blue Fender Mustang from 1968 for a spin.
you.